It's officially been more than a week since nurses at Ascension Seton here in Austin went on strike.
They're demanding safer staffing conditions and say they want the healthcare system to know it's all for the betterment of patient care. KVUE's Ford Sanders heard from nurses today about what their co-workers are experiencing since returning after the strike.
A historic strike for Texas nurses.
Who is the backbone of the healthcare system?
Around 900 nurses from Ascension Seton in Austin participated in a one-day strike on June 27th, demanding things like safe staffing conditions, appropriate nurse-to-patient ratios, and more. Nurse Lindsay Spinney told me that day, movement at the bargaining table isn't happening.
And oftentimes there's two attorneys that show up and they don't have a whole lot to say to us, and it's not really a conversation and there's not a lot of progress being made.
Nurses tell me a one-day strike was authorized, so there wouldn't be much of a lapse in patient care, but they weren't allowed to return to work for 3 more days as Ascension needed to bring in temporary staff. During this time, nurse Jessica Grippentrog says they heard concerning reports.
We did hear word that it was extremely chaotic at first, and that makes sense because these nurses, they don't know the hospital. They don't know what supplies we carry. Women having to give labor without any anesthesia because it was not being able to get to them in time is extremely inappropriate.
Ascension Seton tells KVUE News in a statement Monday in part, quote, approximately 30% of our represented associates chose to report to work and continue caring for our patients through the short-term strike event. This support, along with the temporary staff we engaged, ensured we were able to continue to provide quality patient care across all disciplines. Grippentrog says since then, as nurses have returned to work in the last week, she claims management has been retaliating, saying they won't allow shift swaps, which she says are common and have even gone back on previously approved swaps, saying for these nurses, they aren't giving up anytime soon.
What the nurses are saying is that we will strike as many times as possible and do whatever it takes in order for our patients to get exceptional care.
Both Ascension Seton and these nurses say at the end of it all, they will still work together to come to something they each feel is fair. In Austin, I'm Ford Sanders.
Ford, thanks a lot. Now, if the nurses do choose to strike again, they will first authorize it with one another. They will then give a 10-day notice to Ascension if the nurses decide to take that step again.